How the heck are you guys? I'm Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. In this Watcher of Realms video, we are going to be discussing all things Leftside, specifically our Lefthand Gear, these pieces being our weapons and our breastplates. There are a lot of specifics that have to do exclusively with these kind of pieces that you need to know about when deciding what pieces to level, what to keep, what to cleanse. I think it's particularly relevant right now, given we are wrapping up a long 5-day-long Lost Legacy Oracles trial, aka a Gear Raid 1 tournament. Of course, Gear Raid 1 is the only way to get your weapons and breastplates, the only way to get your Leftside gear. So a lot of people are probably faced with the question, what should I level? What should I keep? What should I cleanse? And also, we have a lot of other tournaments coming up soon in this Alistair Fusion event. And we're going to have to make space. I know I have been neglecting my cleansing a lot, as you are going to see. So let's hop into it, get into all those specifics. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the main stats, the substats, the different sets, and what you need to consider when deciding what to keep, what to level, what to cleanse. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, friends, so this video is going to be two parts, essentially. The first half of the video is going to be me giving you all the information you know so you can be fully informed and prepared to make your gear keeping versus saving versus cleansing versus leveling decisions. And then the second half will be me actually applying the advice I'm giving you guys, and I'll show you guys what my gear looks like before I do a cleanse and what it looks like after, and maybe show off, hopefully, a couple nice pieces we discovered along the way. All right, let's start simple. So, main stats. When it comes to your Leftside gear, the main stats could not be more simple. This is the number one distinction that we have between our Leftside gear and our right side gear, so our weapons and our breastplates versus our bangles, amulets, and rings. This might sound super obvious, but there are a lot of implications that come from how you view your gear because we have the variation in main stats in one type in the right side versus no variation with the left side, right? So what the heck do I mean? Well, it might sound insanely obvious to some of you guys, but in case you didn't notice, your weapons can only have one main stat, and that is flat attack. When I say flat, I mean it is a flat value that will be straight up added to your hero's stat pool, as opposed to like a variable value, which will scale off of their base stats, right? So attack bonus here, we are getting an additional 66%, so 2/3 of the base attack of Zealatu, so a little over 3,000 additional attack. Here is a flat number, and it's a lot less, right? It is 960, so a static number that is additive, just hops onto our stat pool, is not multiplicative or any kind of scaling depending on base stats, right? It is the same thing with our breastplates. It is always flat HP, a static number HP. This might be insanely obvious to many of you, but I do have to start at the top. We work our way down, you know, at top being the more simple stuff, the surface level stuff, then we get into the complexity. So just to further articulate it, and then we'll move right along. If we go, let's just check out our bangles. You can see primary attributes. These are all the possibilities. There's slight variation. For example, our bangles cannot have attack speed or rage regen. If we look over here to our amulets, these can have attack speed, but they cannot have rage regen. These also, our bangles are the only type of piece that can have crit rate, right? These are the only type that can have attack speed, and then our rings are the only type that can have rage regen, as you can see. So that's the distinction among the right side, but you can see there's a huge variety. Each one of them has an option between 7 different main stats. I know it sounds like I'm talking about the right, but this is just a source of comparison. Now, if we go to our breastplates, you can see only HP is possible. If we go to our attack, only attack is possible, and both these are flat stats, not bonus stats or scaling stats. So because this is the case with our left side gear, we can be a lot more brutal when it comes to evaluating it. So what do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes you might hear me or other content creators say the expression stats over sets. And when it comes to right side gear, up until I'd say you reach the deep into the late game, maybe even approaching the end game, until you've been playing for a little while, it almost always will be better to hunt for specific, let me see if I have anyone built that way right now. Yes, to hunt for specific stats as opposed to specific sets. However, eventually you will reach the point where you're going to get these full sets built. You can see there's a Soulbound Arcana, there's a Night Terror, here's an Infernal Roar. However, With the right side gear, you for a long time, and even later on, if you have great pieces, you're focusing more on the stats because you want to make sure you got the right main stat, you got the right substats. It's pretty hard to piece a full 3-piece set together and do that. With your left side gear, not the case, right? Because we have these stagnant, these static, these guaranteed flat main stats, attack on the weapon, HP on the breastplate. That variable's thrown out the window. We no longer have to be like, ooh, did this piece roll the right main stat? Now let me look at the substats. Those main stats are guaranteed, so we can immediately go for the substats. Moreover, the sets only require 2 pieces. These are 2-piece sets as opposed to 3-piece sets. Because of that, it's a lot easier to get 2 pieces that fit together, synergize well in the right set, and can be applied to a hero than it is to get 3 pieces. You know, it's quite simply just a different number of combination, permutation kind of thing. So it's very often, very early on, you will be building full sets, especially once you're farming mythic gear. You will be farming full sets for your left side gear. So because of that, we can be pretty brutal. It's up to you to decide how brutal or how intense you want to be, how severe you want to be with your cleansing, but you can really prioritize certain substats because we can just ignore main stats. We already know what they're going to be, and how those certain substats relate to sets. More on that in just one second. We do have to talk about substats very quickly. So substats, when it comes to our right side gear, every single substat is possible. So while the main stats are slightly restricted, as I said, the bangles get crit rate, the amulets get attack speed, the rings get rage regen, and then all other main stats are possible as well besides those 3 exclusives. All substats are possible, always. You can see if I click here, let's just go to sell. If we click on our bangles here, secondary stats, you can see the possibility. We have 11 different substats in the game. All of them are available to you in the substats. Same thing with amulet, same thing with ring. That is not the case, even though it's looking like that, and I'll explain why it's looking like that. That will not be the case for 99.9% of the time with your breastplates and your weapons. So why is that? Well, you cannot get crit damage. Well, first off, let's start broader, actually. You cannot get rage regen as a substat on breastplates or on weapons. On left side gear, rage regen is not a possible substat. That is really important to know. Moreover, there are 2 other key distinctions, specifically one for weapons. You cannot get crit damage on your weapons, and with breastplates, you cannot get attack speed on your breastplates. But what are you talking about? Look at that. There's attack speed on this breastplate. I set that up on purpose because I want to articulate something. There is an exception, and that exception is ancient gear. So when people talk about why ancient gear is so good, the main reason, and I mean the only reason with right side gear, is because ancient pieces are programmed to have a much higher chance to roll well. You can see there's a gold roll, 2 purple rolls, here's 3 purple rolls, this one has 3 purple rolls. It's not guaranteed. You'll occasionally see the 3.5% crit rate, shout out to Ma Bucket, on a piece with your substat, even though it's ancient. However, it's a much higher likelihood that the substats roll well. However, with the left side gear, there's an extra bonus to ancient pieces, and that's where I said it was 99.9% of the time that those substats won't be possible. There is an exception. That exception is ancient gear. With ancient gear, all substats now become possible, right? The one exception, of course, is the main stat cannot also be a substat. So on your weapons, you can't have flat attack as a substat. It's already the main stat. You can't have repeats. Same thing with flat HP on the breastplates. However, when it's ancient, now everything's in play, right? So you'll see attack speed is possible. And let me articulate this really well. Let me just demonstrate it, I should say. Let's go through our sorting here. Let's click on breastplates, and you'll see I will go to substats, and I'll go attack speed. You'll see I have 3 on my entire account, and wouldn't you know it, they all are ancient. 4 actually, if you count what Sela 2 is wearing here. This is super valuable, right? It's a very unique, rare way to build extra attack speed in this example through your breastplates. So you can see attack speed here, 74. Here's some attack speed, 49. You can see it's not always rolling purple, unfortunately. 51 there and 70 there, right? Moreover, if we look at rage regen, we go here, I only have 1 rage regen piece on my entire account on a breastplate, because again, it's only possible on an ancient. So this is a pretty cool piece. Unfortunately, it doesn't have crit rate. That would synergize very nicely with the Annihilating Might set, the crit damage bonus. We'll get into sets very shortly. However, this has 2 specific ancient exclusive rolls on the substats. They didn't roll great, but the 20% attack rage regen percentage and the 51 attack speed only are possible on this piece, on this breastplate, because because it is an ancient piece. Moreover, it's only possible to get rage regen on a weapon through the same way, right? Through it being an ancient piece. You can see I have two examples. I have this one, the very rare legendary piece that still exists on my account. That's partially because it has this nice attack speed roll, this heal effect roll, and this rage regen that was only possible because it's ancient. And then we have this very nice piece on Silas, a good attack speed roll. Of course, that's always possible on the weapon, but there's your rage regen. Finally, an example, and this really articulates rarity. It would be hard for me to articulate how many runs I've done Gear Raid 1, and yet still, if we go to Substats, I don't have a single piece. I've never gotten an ancient piece. You can see I've actually only ever gotten 4 ancient pieces, 3 mythic ancient pieces for my weapons, and none of them have ever rolled crit damage. However, it is possible, maybe you have some pieces like that, or just take my word for it. I promise it is possible that you can get crit damage on a weapon. However, it's only possible through an ancient. So that's really important, and ancients are extra special when it comes to your left side gear. And let me put on my tinfoil hat really quickly, guys. Let's just click on my pieces. So if we go to my rings, look how many mythic ancients I have, my bangles, excuse me. I have the one Zealot is wearing. Here's another 9, so 10, 12 ancient mythic bangles, right? If we go to amulets, look at that. We have these 8 here, plus the one that Zealot is wearing. That is 9. If we go here to my rings, we have, this one isn't, so it's 7, right? Now, that's my right side gear, and like I said, ancients are very important. They're amazing for right side gear, but not as good as left side gear because we don't have that substat extra bonus. I think ancients are rarer for left side gear, at least on my account, so this isn't confirmed. Like I said, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. If we go now, we have the one that Azilatu is wearing, plus these 3. I only have 4 ancient pieces for breastplates on my entire account, and if we go to weapons, I only have 3 on my entire account. So here, what did I say? We are talking 12, we are talking 9, we are talking 7, and now all of a sudden it's 3 and it's 4 and 3, right? So because it's so valuable, I believe this, but I mean I can certainly not confirm it yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But undeniably, ancient pieces are more valuable on your left side gear because of the extra substats that become possible. And from my experience, super anecdotal though, obviously, this is not some statistical study, but from my experience, they seem a lot rarer. Anyway, let's get into sets now. So essentially, and I'm essentially, because this is mostly going to be focused to mid-game and beyond, I think people very, very early, within a week, maybe 10 days, you will graduate. I guess it depends how well you're performing in Gear Raid 1, but most people will graduate from these final 7 sets, Life Giver through Juggernaut. These are very, very early game sets. So we really have these main 7 sets that exist in the game. We have our 2 premium sets, as I like to call them. Those are sets that are only available from 119, 120, 121. Whenever you see red and yellow or red and gold, same with these Infernal Roar pieces, they're only available from Gear Raids 19 through 21. And then we have our 5 normal sets. So we have Salvation, Life Force, Calamity, Whirlwind, and Annihilating Might. All of the sets, specifically with your left side gear, again, they're pretty different than your right side gear sets. They are stat-based sets. So what do I mean by that, as opposed to like damage or some kind of multiplicative set, right? So if we look at this Infernal Roar set here, basic attack now has another plus 40% damage. So basically all your basic attacks will have a multiplier added to them of 1.4. So if they were going to do 100 points of damage, now they'll do 140 points of damage. That is very different than what you see on your left side gear, where it's just straight up, you have some increase to stats. So it's a straight up additive stat thing, right? Sometimes multiplicative when it comes to like Calamity or something like that, but it directly applies to stats as opposed to applying to damage or other things like that. So here we have crit damage, right? So because it's directly applying to stats, directly your eye can be opened and immediately you can be cognizant of synergies. And that's where sets are really important with your left side gear. So if we look at all of them, we'll go through the 5 main ones. I guess very quickly, let's just say Immortal Warriors is a souped up version of Life Force. Warlord is just a souped up version of Calamity. However, both of those follow the same rules. So if we actually just, let's be very pedantic about it here. Let's be very thorough. So if we go to Life Force here, a Life Force piece is plus 25% HP. Again, just a stat kind of set, like they all will be with our left side gear. Immortal Warrior, same exact thing, plus also 10% defense. If we now go to Warlord, we should start with Calamity, this is going to be plus 25% attack. Warlord will be the exact same thing, plus 25% attack, and then an additional stat increase, plus 30 attack speed. However, all of these will have to do directly with stats. We'll never get like these conditional kind of things that we see. Let's click through a few. Here is heroes in range get a 10% buff, and it will apply to someone else. So that's a special status effect, right? That's a special buff that comes from your set. Here we have this interesting thing where you get a bonus based on another stat. So it's just a little more complexity. That's on your Glacier set. If we go to Night Terror, you're going to get a damage increase after getting a crit for a certain amount of time. Here we get a damage increase that stacks up to 5 times depending on numbers of enemies within your attack range. That's on the Curse set. Lots of more complexity, lots of things doing with buffs or damage, stuff like that. With our Leftside gear, it is stats, stats, stats. Because of that, this is really important for where we're working up to in this whole thing. Now that we know what the main stats are, what the substats can be, the importance of Ancients, and of course that we have these stat-specific sets, we can really look for synergies and where things properly align when we make our decisions for what to level, what to keep, what to save, and of course what to trash, what to cleanse. So what is the best way to do that? Well, let's start with something very simple, probably a lot of people use. Your Calamity set. Attack is God. Attack is king in this game. So your Calamity set is super important, right? Your Calamity sets will be giving you attack plus 25%. Moreover, if you're running someone in a Calamity set, it's because they're the kind of hero that needs attack. So in your Calamity set, you shouldn't be keeping any pieces basically that don't have attack bonus. It's just a total missed opportunity. Basically on any hero in the game, I'll just tell you, regardless of set, if they're the kind of hero that benefits from attack and there's not an attack bonus substat, or if you're on the right side, you don't have an attack bonus main stat for that specific piece, you need to be getting as much attack as possible. Very likely, especially later on, as you'll see with my account, you'll just trash all of it. So the way this works for me, and you don't have to be as severe as this, as I said, you can make that decision, but very quickly you probably will reach that point. This isn't such an end game thing to be doing. This even can happen in like the later portion of the mid game. You should just basically be like, what stat aligns with that set? And let me get rid of every single piece from that set that does not have that stat. So if that didn't make sense, let me just show you. You go here, you go to sell, we'll click on our weapons and our breastplates, and we just, this is the way I like to do it. I go down the list. So you click on Calamity, you sort by secondary attributes, attack bonus, and then you go down here, and here I've already done it, but you see it would pop up any time it didn't match. So second attributes do not match, you can just select all and sell all of them. So that would be selecting all the Calamity pieces on your entire account that do not have attack bonus and getting rid of them. You can see though, I practice what I preach, they're all gone. Moreover, you can do the same thing with Warlord, right? Those things need attack. Look, I'll do it right now. Great, we have 2 examples. So you can see, you go to the weapons and the breastplates, you select Warlord. Again, Warlord is going to be plus 25% attack bonus, as well as plus 30 attack speed. However, there's no way you're running a character in Warlord that doesn't need some attack buff. And because of that, there's no reason you should keep a piece that doesn't have an attack bonus substat. So because of that, we can look at these 2 pieces. We can see, oh yeah, great, they don't have attack bonus. However, a really nice kind of feature to make it go a little faster is you sort by that specific substat, then you go to secondary attributes do not match, so none of these pieces have that substat. Select all and bid them. Done. You can see I run super lean. I have very little Warlord on my account. Moreover, salvation set, right? What does a salvation set do? Let me click on it. Plus 25 heal effect. So there's no way you're going to keep a salvation piece that doesn't have heal effect on it. Earlier on, there could be exceptions to this. However, you're going to reach the point where that's where it's going to be. So this can be aspirational. This is going to be something to keep in mind. Like I said, it's your decision how brutal you want to be in your cleanse, how severe you want to be. So I recently farmed 2 pieces. In the bin they go. It's that easy. I'll do this part with you guys, and then I'll explain the next portion. I'll do that off screen, and then we'll wrap up with me showing you where I ended up. So we can keep going. Immortal Warrior and Life Force, what I like to do, just click them together. Normally I would have done that for Calamity and Warlord as well. Basically, though Immortal Warrior also can give defense, there's no world you're going to want, even if you are putting it, there might be the rare exception. It would be on like a defense-based damage dealer, but then they're going to run them in Annihilating Might or Whirlwind or something like that. You're not going to run them just for 10% extra defense in an Immortal Warrior set. So these both are very similar in that they need HP bonus. The main thing they give you is HP bonus. In the case of Life Force, that's the only thing they give you, so it's pretty essential that you make sure all those pieces of HP bonus. So we go to substats, we click HP bonus, we can scroll down, let me click out of this, and we can get rid of everything that doesn't have it. Look, I've been pretty thorough on this. You can see I've got a lot of cleansing to do. I have too many of these Life Force pieces, but you can click and this one can get sold. For you guys, if you're applying this and you've never done it before, it's going to be a lot more, but I, of course, do a lot of cleansing. So now we've done everything except for Whirlwind and Annihilating Might, and these appropriately are the ones at the end, because they can be slightly more, what's the word? There's a little more nuance that goes into it. So with Annihilating Might, crit damage, basically that's not going to be a very popular substat because it can't even happen on the weapons unless those are, of course, ancient. It certainly can happen on the breastplates. However, it is very possible, because crit damage is not as important as attack or crit rate. It's very possible you could keep a piece, and I actually do have many pieces like that on my account. This probably is an example. Yes, look at that. So this is crit rate and attack bonus. It doesn't have crit damage. However, I've certainly reached the point in the game for myself where I won't keep a piece, or I'll almost never keep a piece of Annihilating Might if it doesn't have crit rate, because what's the point of getting a crit damage bonus if crit rate is not on the thing? If I'm not going to be critting, then I don't need the crit damage bonus. So what you can do is you can go to secondary stats, you can go to crit, and then you can see everything that doesn't match. But Fastidious, look, you kept a couple pieces that don't have it. That's because I said there's a bit of nuance. This, for me, I'm not at the point yet, maybe eventually I'll get there, where I will just select all and sell. However, I do manually check, because like it is possible, you know, if they had attack bonus, flat attack, and crit damage, I do have heroes that could work on, because maybe I happen to be running a crit rate bangle or something like that, right? So I don't need to worry about getting that crit rate sub. There is a bit more nuance. So here, no way, Jose. Another way you can do this to make it a little smoother, there's no way I'm keeping a piece that doesn't have crit rate and doesn't have attack bonus. So you can see here, secondary attributes partly match. There's a partial match. That means they have one or the other, but not both. Here, both of these have neither. So that I don't even have to look at. Those are straight up cells. And now we can go here, and now we can do the nuance. So this has, basically, if it doesn't have crit rate, actually, let me just say, for me personally, if it doesn't have attack, because I'm not employing any defense-based damage dealers, I don't need it. So if this doesn't have attack, these can both go in the bin. I don't care if it has crit rate and crit damage. This one actually, maybe actually this one I will save. This could be, if I ever do get a defense-based damage dealer and it rolls well, I'll have to roll it to see. That one can stay. This one, though, no way. We sell that. So now we know everything remaining on this account except for this one that I just locked has attack bonus. Now we can see what doesn't have crit, and it's these. So the ones with attack and crit we'll keep and look through. The ones that don't, basically they need to have the other two substats I'm looking for. Would attack speed be nice? Yes. Would rage regen percent be nice? Yes. However, that's impossible, right? Because these are not ancients. So basically I know I'm looking for, it's guaranteed these all have attack, so now I want to make sure they also have crit damage and flat attack. So let's see. Nope. Nope. Yes. So this one I've already locked, you can see. Yes, this one we can lock and we'll see. And then yes, this one we can lock and we'll see. So that shows you how the nuance can be applied. Moreover, with Whirlwind, I've officially reached the point where I'm not going to keep any Whirlwind weapons. Keep in mind, you're not going to get Whirlwind gives you attack speed. The set will give you plus 75 attack speed. I'll show you that right now. However, you're not going to get any attack speed on your breastplates unless they're ancient. If they're ancient, you're keeping them anyway. So you don't have to apply that same brutality there. However, I have reached the point where I'm not going to keep any weapons that don't have attack speed. So I go like this. I click attack speed. Secondary attributes do not match. I can sell. These pieces are old pieces, so this is a nice point where you can revisit. You can see I kept this because this does have very nice substats for a healing, HP-based healer. It does look really, really good. I do think I'm finally at the point, even though this has this nice initial purple roll, I am at the point where this could... this certainly could still be really good and roll really well. I do think I'm at the point where there's no way I'm having a healer that doesn't have attack speed on the weapon. That is a sell. Like I said, touch of nuance. You'll have to reach your own point and decide. This one I rolled pretty high. You can see it does have really nice rolls for an HP-based healer, but again, I'm at the point where the only HP-based healer I'm using right now is Vortex. I could also use Mid-On. I use her sometimes as well. I have enough attack speed pieces that I don't need to keep that. No reason to hoard. Don't be afraid to sell pieces if you've leveled. And yeah, look at this one. This one is an exception here that I kept because it had such a high crit rate roll, such a high attack bonus roll. It does not have attack speed. However, I will keep this one because there is a place where, hey, maybe I don't need the attack speed on that. Maybe it's the kind of DPS that isn't as reliant as on attack speed. This we can certainly keep. You know, the extra 75 would be great if we run the bonus. However, with that attack speed, without the attack speed substat, I don't need to obsess over not having it. I will say this is the kind of piece that I will sell eventually. Absolutely. It almost doesn't have a place on my account right now because what's the chances I have a hero that is a DPS hero, needs a Whirlwind set instead of a DPS set, but I can get away with not having attack speed. It's a rare circumstance. I could use it in things like faction trials, but I predict within a month or two this is the kind of piece I will sell. Now, moreover, you can see all these pieces do have attack speed. They can stay. The nuance, and I'm not going to do all of this right now, that comes with the breastplates is because on a Whirlwind set it can apply to 3 different types of heroes. Now we're getting really deep into the minutia, but you know, it could go on a DPS hero, it could go on a healer, and it could go on what I call a spammer hero, someone like Mari or Aeon who's spamming out debuffs and crowd control effects. So there you'll have to go through and have the substats in your head, specifically what you're looking for. So with your DPS, you're looking for attack bonus, you're looking for crit rate, crit damage, stuff like that. Keep in mind, no attack speed is going to be possible on these breastplates. For your healers, you're looking for the main healing stat plus some heal effect, maybe even that flat stat as well. So if it's an attack-based healer, you want to see attack bonus, flat attack, and heal effect. For me, I need all 3 at this point because I've gotten pretty severe with the kind of cleanses I do. Finally, with a spammer, it really doesn't matter on the breastplate. With someone like Mari, maybe you want some tankiness so they don't die. Same thing for Aeon. Maybe if it's the kind of spammer like Lasir, who's also a bit of a damage dealer, then you could look at damage stats. Like I said, nuance will be applied. However, with those people, without question, they need attack speed on the weapon. All right, guys, I know I've been going for a little while and I've really gotten into the weeds, but I know there are going to be some people, you can let me know in the comments, that really like seeing this level of detail, and maybe it's a more concise way, at least, than some of my past live gear cleanses that take 3 hours to explain my thinking. Now, guys, I am going to cut. I'm actually going to apply everything I said to my gear cleanse, and we can see how I do. So actually, let's do a quick little assessment here. If we select all, it won't let me. But you can see we'll just do a quick visual, right? This is how many weapons I have right now. Some things are locked. So if we select all, you see it's 99, but maybe it's 110 or 120 with all the things I have locked that aren't getting selected. And then for breastplates, let's see. 120, maybe it's more like 140 or 150 with all the things I have selected. And you can we can visualize this here. I'm only going to do my left side stuff off camera right now, so we're at 950. Let's see how severe I can be and how I can trim this down. The final tip I will leave you guys with before I pop off camera for 1 second and come back post cleanse, what I will leave you with is when you go to level your stuff. So let's say I'll just get started right now, and you can see I like to just go down the list because it saves me the headache of, oh, have I done that already? So let's say I go to here, I go to Immortal Warrior, and I start with my weapons. I like to just go to the bottom and start. This piece I have kept because it has HP bonus. That was the thing I applied. However, I'm at the point where I want it to have HP bonus and defense bonus, so this I can sell. Let's wait till I'll explain this when we reach the first piece I care about. This piece also is a sell. You can see not everything's going to make it through. Here, this is a perfect substats piece for a tank, right? We have HP bonus, defense bonus, flat HP, and flat defense. This is the kind of piece that could be amazing. However, I'm going to be severe with it. I've already made that decision. And you can be really severe with your left side gear because you're not caring about the main stat. I want all really good rolls like this, what you're seeing on Sela 2, with my substats. So what I'm going to do is I will roll everything to +4. If that first roll isn't good, I'm already done with it. It doesn't matter. This was, luckily, HP bonus is the most important stat, so it's like what I call instant feedback. I instantly know whether I like this piece or not, because with just a +4 roll, I was able to find out if the most important stat rolled well or not. However, even if this was flat defense and it rolled like that, I'm at the point where I will sell it. I need all the substats to be pretty good. No question, there is a correlation between how well the first substat rolls, how well the rest of it rolls. This is not guaranteed that if the first one rolls purple, all of them will roll purple, or if the first one rolls really low, all of them will roll really low. However, there's enough of a correlation that personally, I will just sell. Let's try to find one more example. So again, I can just sell this because this doesn't have defense bonus. This is a borderline piece because this could work on someone like a Abomination, right? Where you want some tankiness, you might run a tanky set, but you also want some damage. However, I already have a great Immortal Warrior set for my Abomination, so this piece is something I've graduated from. I don't need any more of that. If we look here, here's a great one. This could work even better than the one I have on Abomination because it has the tanky stats and it has attack bonus and it has crit rate. Do I wish the defense bonus was crit damage? That would be optimal. Yes. However, like I said, the main stat I'm still looking for is going to be that HP bonus. I guess for Abomination, it's kind of the attack bonus as well. This is another piece where we can see if this first one rolls poorly, I'm out. Even though, we still have the opportunity, the HP bonus could roll well, I'm not willing to risk the gold to find out. It's very unlikely I've literally rolled tens of thousands of pieces. I'm pretty confident in this. That is a sell. So that is the severity I will be applying. You can decide how brutal you want to be with yours. I'll check back in with you guys in 1 second. I'm going to go off camera, do my cleanse. We'll see. We're at 946 right now. Let's see where we end up. Alrighty guys, so the moment of truth. The cleanse took me exactly 45 minutes, maybe 46 minutes, and we cleansed 226 pieces. We started out at 950, we got down to 724. You saw I started off with you guys live on camera. I did those first 4. It wasn't fun at all, and we didn't really find that much good stuff. Actually equipped the couple good pieces I did find. I'll tell you right now, I didn't find a single DPS piece from all those pieces I sorted through. If we look at Scorch, this was one piece that I can keep. This is a good healer piece, potentially. Not all these pieces are too great, but that was one piece. Here you go. This was a nice healer piece again. It's a heal effect, HP bonus for an HP-based healer, and even a touch of attack speed. Not great, not at all, but it's fine. We look at this piece, another HP-based healer piece that I could potentially keep. This also has potential that it could be a defense-based healer piece if it rolls well. These aren't pieces I'm in love with at all, but you know, they were worth keeping, I suppose. Here's quite a good piece, so it was almost amazing if this flat defense rolled, but this is a nice tank piece for sure. Here's another piece here. Decent potential as a defense-based healer piece, so this is for Mariel specifically. This one could easily get sold if I decide to 16 it and it doesn't roll the heal effect. Really not such a great haul. This one's pretty good. I'm not going to roll it any further, but it does have potential as a tank piece. I don't love it because I would love to see some flat defense on it as well, but that's a nice HP bonus roll. Flat attack is okay. It is what it is. I brought to +9 to catch my eye to say, hey, keep that, maybe roll it. This piece on Gluttony, interesting piece. It could be good for like Azor. It's like a tank that especially would like some defense. I wish that HP bonus, you see I 16'd it. I had pretty high hopes since we almost golded twice. Let's keep going now. Didn't put any on these guys. Did I miss down stuff? No, this is old gear. Sorry about that. Isolda got a piece. This was our first gold roll. This is a solid piece. This is, again, these are niche pieces, not so exciting, but this is our first gold roll. This would go on like Laurel or, you know, like a spammer hero, like Laurel or Mari or Aeon. Not a thrilling piece, but, you know, they're going to have to go in Whirlwind anyway, so that's a pretty great HP bonus roll. For some reason, there was a tank down the line that needed attack speed. I mean, these are great tank stats. And it's a great roll, 27% HP bonus. It's just not that usable. This one, I believe, yes, another, this one I almost want to sell. I did roll gold on it. This was our second gold roll. I think we got 3 gold rolls total, which is pretty good, actually, for that many pieces, or whatever. Maybe I sifted through, you know, 240 pieces, and that's what we came out with. You can see 27% defense. It's pretty niche. I mean, it could still go on that spammer type of hero. I was keeping these pieces because they had defense bonus, attack bonus, and HP bonus, so all usable stats for like an Aeon or a Mari. Something like that. Not a mind-blowing piece at all. And I think Aatrox has our last piece. Yes, Aatrox will have our last piece, and this is our last one. This is probably like the best piece, which just shows you how unsuccessful this was. But this could be really good for an HP-based healer. Whirlwind set totally works. I'd prefer, like, you know, a Life Force set or Immortal Warrior. But I mean, that's a huge heal effect roll, a nice HP roll. So you pair this with, you know, some HP bonus, flat HP, heal effect, attack speed. If you're able to get that on a weapon, all of a sudden you've got a really nice Whirlwind set for an HP-based healer. Could go in a Vortex or a Midon, Sadie, something like that. So that was our haul. That's what we came out with. So, you know, I've got some space now. I can go back and farm. I really hope this was informative to all of you guys. It was a lot of work. So if you appreciate it, like it, comment, subscribe, share it with your mother. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.